a conventional or a vertical well. In next slide. I'm going to walk you through the process of what's happened over the past several years, and it starts out with landmen arriving, and you've probably heard all kinds of stories about landmen. I would say they're probably all true and probably worse than what you hear. The acreage, there's two parts to this. There's a signing bonus and a royalty piece. The signing bonus, when they first came into town, about $5 an acre. Lots of people signed for $5 an acre because they thought it was the old wells, not the new wells. It peaked at around $6,000 an acre. And back to Maria's point about farmers, $6,000 an acre on a farmer that's got 2, 3, 4, 500 acres. You start talking about $3 million up front, and they get to keep their land. That's the kind of thing that, again, I'm glad to hear Maria say this. I hope nobody ever holds that against a farmer. They have a very, very tough life, high capital costs. It's very difficult to make ends meet, and something like this literally can be the difference between the family farm and not. Now, having said that, we're going to go through the rest of this. Royalties, 12.5%. They're now approaching 20%, and just as the process of going along, there has been at least a little democracy, and back to working amongst friends. This is kind of the, as I call it, the Red Cross model. Never swim alone. There's safety in numbers. Don't strike out on your own. Remember that from when you were a kid? Well, same thing here, whether it's fighting a hog farm or working against a injection well, or in this case, maybe even considering signing a lease. You can get all those things better if you are in numbers. So, next slide. The next thing that came was, and because we were early in there, was lease modifications. So you had lease, guess what? Hey, we're back. We want to change that lease. And so they would come back. They wanted to increase the unit size, how big of a well they can drill, up to 1,280 acres. They wanted to add freshwater impoundments. They wanted to add freshwater purchases. They wanted to come back in and put in pipelines. They wanted to come back in and put in compressor stations, frack water recycling, and freshwater drilling. So all those things came back around, and they required another lease. Next slide.